Hello, I am a U.S. Army veteran. I served from 2019 to 2024 active duty and then did a 1 year contract in the National Guard. And here's some advice I want to give to, at least single soldiers. Being a single soldier is actually the best position to be in the military because you really only got to worry about yourself. Other soldiers who are in a relationship or have kids or have to deal with child support, they're stressed out. And plus, a lot of relationships don't really work out for young people in their early 20s because their brains still haven't fully developed enough and they still don't have enough, life experience to find a true partner. So as a single soldier, I would recommend staying single, if especially if you're doing a short contract, getting into a military relationship is not worth it. I have had so many friends that I knew in the military who were in relationships and were stressed out as a result of the relationship not working out. And it's already bad enough to have like a bad work day in the military, or in this case, the army, but then having to come home to a partner that, you're having issues with, plus, God forbid, an annoying child or having to pay child support, it's not worth it. If you're in your early 20s, trust me, you don't need to rush into a marriage or anything like that. Enjoy your freedom. Save up to about $20,000. If you are a single soldier, you can easily make it to that goal within a year or maybe even less if you already have money saved up. Because as a single soldier, you might have a car bill or maybe you Uber or walk everywhere. I don't know. But the only real bill that you're most likely have to pay off is your phone and car bill and insurance. But outside of that, you don't have to pay for food. You have the dining facility, or you can go to the PX and buy some groceries. They don't tax you there. Or, since you're a single soldier, you also live in the barracks. You don't got to worry about paying rent or electricity bills or anything like that. So for me, saving up $20,000 was easy. I'm an introvert, so um, yeah, I didn't really go out and party and spend my paycheck every 2 weeks like like a lot of soldiers do. That's not me trying to brag, but I'm just trying to say that if you're an introverted person who prefers to stay in, read, play a game or watch videos on YouTube or watch anime or something like that, you have a better chance of saving money compared to the other soldiers who pretty much go out and party every paycheck week. I remember being a specialist. I got paid about $2,000 at the end of the month. Another bit of advice I want to give out is that it's okay to make mistakes. If you're a young soldier and you've never done any military stuff before, you know, you're gonna end up messing up at some point. As long as you don't mess up, too horribly, like do anything illegal, you should be fine. Now, if you're an active duty soldier, definitely make sure to use your free healthcare benefits. Yeah, the Army gives active duty soldiers free healthcare. Like, take advantage of that. If you actually have a problem, get checked out and get looked over. To avoid future problems. Now, the good news is that when you go and see a doctor in the military and you have a genuine problem with your body, that will go into your medical records, and there's a good chance that the issue that you have with your body is military related. As a result, when you get out, you can go and make a VA claim from Veterans Affairs. So when you get out, you can make a VA claim, and you can basically get compensated a certain amount of money at the end of each month based off of your military related health issues. And if you're someone who's genuinely suffering from stress, anxiety, or worst of all, depression, definitely use your behavioral health, benefits. See a psychiatrist, see a therapist. There's no shame in that at all. People get depressed every day. Now, chances are, if you are in the Army, you might have to deal with toxic leadership. And when I say toxic, I mean someone who is a genuine, horrible person to work with. Thankfully, from my experience, most of my leaders were really good people. However, if you are surrounded by a toxic work leader, report that person. And if that report doesn't work, report it to someone else, you know. And if that report doesn't work, keep reporting it to someone else. Now, don't abuse this, okay? Because let's say you're late or whatever, right? And then your leader, you know, your sergeant has you do some push-ups, or maybe he writes you up or something like that. Don't make a report over that, because that's on you. That's your fault. But if you do work with a genuine piece of shit, I'm talking about like someone who sleeps on the job, someone that randomly decides to verbally abuse you, someone who, you know, is just an all-around toxic person, like a racist or a homophobe, something like that. If you actually do have a substantial, genuine issue, then yes, report it. You know, don't let that person victimize you. The military is an adult organization, and it's supposed to be professional. And the last thing we need is some assholes, you know? Like, I was an Army cook, and there was this one sergeant, and he was sleeping in his car while everybody else was working in the kitchen. Fuck that guy. Thankfully, he did get called out for it. He did get caught, and he did get demoted. Don't be that guy that sleeps during briefs, you know? Sometimes there's going to be like a PowerPoint presentation or a class. Don't be that person that sleeps during those, please. I mean, that's very rude, and you'll get in trouble for it anyway. Also, don't be that person who brings up a problem at the last minute. If you have an issue, bring it up as soon as possible, you know, if you can't fix that issue. I'm saying this because you don't want to be that person that accidentally holds everybody back, and then it just ends up being very awkward. Now, as you can tell from my heavy breathing, or my semi-heavy breathing, I don't know, I've gotten pretty fat after leaving the Army. But while you're in, you know, you can still get fat too. So what I would recommend doing is, you know, making sure you eat a balanced diet or exercise, because at the end of the day, when you're in the Army, you're going to have to do physical fitness. And, you know, you don't want to be that person that fails your PT test over and over again, because you can get kicked out for failing a PT test twice. Sometimes, you know, leadership or whoever's in charge will be more lenient. But, yeah, don't be that person that's constantly out of shape. Every military base has a gym, you know, and every military base has healthy food. If you get out of shape, put yourself back into shape. I had to do that before, and it's not fun, but it is what it is, okay? So try to avoid eating out too much, you know. I'm speaking from experience, because there were times where I actually failed my physical fitness test, and then I got stressed out. So I had to work out again and eat healthy and all that kind of stuff. And then I passed the physical fitness test again. So yeah, you know, I'm just saying, don't put yourself under any unnecessary stress. Just pass your physical fitness test first go.